We're back, folks. Today we're going to be changing the starter on this 2000 Toyota Tundra. First step, there's two 10mm bolts, one here, one here. Remove this faceplate. We'll set to the side. And next thing you want to start doing is removing this air intake. Should be a 10mm there as well. Loosen that up. We'll get all that taken off. Another one right here. We'll take this off. I'll get back to you. Okay, as you can see, this hose has never been taken off. It's like stuck on there pretty good. I'm having a hard time getting it off. So I'm gonna do is just put my screwdriver under there and just kind of move it up like that. And do that all around the sides here. Same with this one. Will not come off. I'm just gonna get the screwdriver in there. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand while filming, but there you go. Got it in there. Let's break up the, there you go, break up the seal. Go on the other side, do the same thing. Should come right off now. Let's give it a shot. Oh, I'm gonna get that off. It's ready to go now. I'm gonna loosen this one and we'll get the air intake off. Actually, one 10mm I missed right here for the hose. Disconnect it, so we'll do that as well. And what I like to do whenever I take a bolt out of somewhere, if I can put it back in, I do, so that way I know exactly where it goes. So we'll put that back in there so we don't lose it, and we'll move on. So there's a little hose right here. Get that off. Boink. There we go. There's a clamp here you'll want to pry out. Back side of this I missed. Boom, just like that. A couple of hoses here we'll take off. Boing. Another hose right there so we can get her off. I'm gonna screwdriver for this one. There we go. There we go. Okay. Boing. Next step, we're gonna remove this hose that goes into the air intake right here. Loosen that up, give it a little pull. Should come right off. There we go. After that, this connector right here. Give it a little pull. There we go. Got the hose off there already. Perfect. I think that one was just already off. I don't think I took it off. But anyways, it's cracked right there too. Next we'll get this hose on the top off up here. There we go. It's removed. It's like there's going to be a couple 10mm here and here to get this line coming over the top. We'll get that off. So I removed this hose off this little guy here so I can flip this over, get it out of the way, just like so. Alrighty. Next step, you want to pop this wire off here and disconnect the cable to the throttle body. We'll get that all taken care of, get back to you. So I was having trouble getting this guy off right here. A little trick, if you're having trouble getting it off, just pry this up in here and move it over the tabs. And with my other hand, I grabbed that screwdriver and I put it under the corner, just like so. And I just twisted it sideways so it would lift up and got it off. Got both these tabs removed here and here. My pry tool. And we'll move on to the next step. Okay, there's gonna be 4 12mm, 1, 2, and the same over here, 3, 4. And some longer ones on the bottom to get the air intake off the throttle body. And we'll start moving on. The hose right here we'll remove as well, get that off. We'll remove this connector right here. So right there, you're gonna have to pop that tab off to get that wire away from the air intake housing so you can remove it. That's what we'll do next. Well, you get the idea. Pop that out. That one there didn't really want to pop out, so I had to get my biggest screwdriver. The plastic tool I had was just bending. Popped it out with this baby, no problem. Step, we're gonna remove this brake booster hose right here. If the line's hard to get off, just grab it with your pliers and just twist it back and forth like so. That'll make it easier for it to come off. Next step, we're gonna remove these fuel injector harness connectors. Should be 4 on each side, 4 here, 4 over there. They're blue, so we'll get all those disconnected and ready to go. Okay, I moved these 2 tabs for this wire harness right here, and I put the bolts back in place so I wouldn't lose them. Get more room to get into the injectors there. So the easiest way for me to get these injectors off is to grab them with this little pair of pliers. I grabbed the tab on the bottom, I just got it locked on the top like so. Just came right off. So I made sure it was open pretty wide so I didn't crush it, and they come right off. Just like that. Got the second one off now, as you can see. Just make sure not to press too hard and break the electrical connector, you know. Be gentle. Should be good to go. Okie dokie, next we're going to take off the bolts that hold on the cylinder head. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you look, the first one's right there next to the green connector, that nut right there. That's gonna be number 1. And if you look right over here, if you look down there, there's gonna be that bolt with the star fitting. That's number 2. You just keep going down. There's another bolt with the star fitting down there with the leaf on top. If you see, there's gonna be one more here with a star and one more bolt down there at the end. And just gonna get all those off. All right, one with a nut. Sorry. Just like this one next to the green connector. So there's 2 nuts, 3 bolts with star fittings. You get those removed. You can see it right down there. Each well has one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 at the end. All the bolts around the head are going to be 12mm. Once you get the nuts and bolts off, you're going to want to use a magnet to remove them so you don't lose them. Just like that. And you should be good to go. 5 on each side. Here we go, let's remove them now. Should be one there. Oh, there we go, bump. Should be one here. Bump. It's 1, 2, 3 now, including that guy. Sorry about the phone cover getting in the way. One over here. So we can get this baby out. Oh, yep, there she comes. Boop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one down here at the end. I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's right there. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. If you haven't already done it, you want to move your negative and positive terminals off your battery there. So when we start to take the starter bolts off, you touch any metal, it'll arc, which, you know, could cause a fire or whatnot. So make sure you got both your terminals taken off. Our 10mm on this bracket right here, you're gonna have to remove to get the air intake up, so we'll get that out right now. Now if you look, it just comes right up, so we're gonna get that out. We're just gonna plop it to the side like that. We're gonna leave the 2 gas lines on there connected. That should be fine. And yeah, I guess might have to remove this hose here. We'll just wait for that. That's a coolant hose. I might just leave that on there. We're gonna leak a bunch of fluid. But yeah, let's see what happens. Here we go. It's pretty heavy. that up off everything. So you can plop it over to the side now. See it starting to come. There we go. See, we have access to the starter now. So leave it like that, that's fine. The injectors came up with it, so you don't have to worry about removing those. Next step, we're gonna start removing the wires down here for the starter. I guess there's a couple 12 millimeters in the back you have to take off to get it out. We'll do that first. Next step, there's going to be two 10 millimeters on this wire harness, one there and one here. You want to take both those off so you can get access to the two 12 millimeter bolts holding on the starter. Okay, so the two bolts holding on the starter in the back are actually going to be 12 millimeter. Not 12, sorry, 14 millimeter. Okay, I got the two 14 millimeters removed out the top. They're right there, two gold bolts. And now if you pop this little case off over here on the side, right there, you can get access right here. You're gonna take that connector off. Right under this little tab right here is gonna be your next nut you're gonna take off. I think it's a 14. So we'll get that off right now. You can remove the starter. It's on the bottom side down there. Underneath a plastic connector you can pop off. So here's where the nut on the side is. Let me see, I think it was a 12 millimeter. Yeah, it was a 12 millimeter. So you can get the starter out now. And we'll get the new one back in. Let's do everything in reverse order. It's pretty heavy. Stuck on something, there we go. This is actually the original Toyota starter that went in the thing. He held up for 25 years in there. Not bad, huh? Alright, let's get the new one right there. Thank you, Napa Auto Parts. You can see they seem to match up. All the bolts match up. The side nut matches up, but if you look, the Toyota starter is quite a bit bigger. Interesting, huh? So if you want yours to last another 25 years, you might as well get another Denso. I don't know how much they cost. This one from Napa was $200. We're doing everything in reverse order now. We got the side bolt on over here, right there. I'll put the tab back over it like so. Once you got that in place, we'll get the bolt that goes right here onto this harness back in. The two bolts, 14 millimeter, that hold the starter in place. We'll hook in this little electrical tab like so. Just do that right now. I'll just wait till I'm done so I have more wiggle room. And then we'll move on to the next steps, which is installing the air intake back into the heads here. So yeah, get that little bolt on the side here, tab back on, and we'll move on to installing the starter. So I have both the 14 millimeters on the back over there that hold the starter on, got the electrical connections both on. First one, the power, and you want to click this one in until you hear it make a click sound, and you know it's in there. Well, you don't have to take all this off again. Definitely make sure you hook this connector back up, or you could have quite a hassle later trying to get it back on. Yep, that's about it for now. Well, let's move on to the next steps. I'm going to clean out all this debris next to the intake, so when I put the air intake on, nothing falls down in the motor. Should be ready to go. Alright. Next thing you'll want to do is grab a little brake fluid and a rag. I already did it, and just clean up around the air intake here and clean up around the gaskets down there. So when you reinstall it, there's no dust or debris on there, grease. So we're ready to go now on this side. We'll get the air intake back in. Okay, we have the air intake manifold back on. We're just going to go in reverse order. 5 bolts on this side, 5 bolts on that side. Torque them down to 13 foot-pounds, 12 millimeters. And we'll get back to you for the air intake. A little tip for you guys: if you're having trouble getting the nuts and bolts to go back in, just put them in a paper towel like so. Then you could, just be careful and they won't fall out. You can get them back in place. A little trick for you, make it a lot easier. And when you torque down the intake manifold, you're going to want to do opposite ends and just keep going like that till you get them all done. You should be good to go. So next we're going to go with the air intake here, get that baby all ready. Just got it in place, there we go. First I'll get the 2 nuts on, and I'll get the 2 bolts on the bottom. See, this line can move back up. Alright, here we go. So we got the air intake back on. There's 2 hoses that go in the back here. This one here. Looks better? So we got the hose here. This one goes on right there. And then we got this little one. This little one goes over here to this guy. PDC valve or whatever that is. And there's one more hose. Oh, here it is. It's hiding from me. That goes right on top of here. We'll pop that on there. Boom, just like so. I'll finish that up in a minute. A little better. And there's the brake booster hose, get that on there. And this little connector right here, it's gonna pop on right there. You wanna hear it click, just like so. And we're gonna get all the injectors back on now. Already got one over here, we're gonna work around and get the rest. And that should be it. The hose here. Get that on there, a little better in a second. And that's about everything. Little thing here unclicked, we'll click that back in. And I need to plug in the air intake manifold connector. If to find that, get that plugged in, and that should be it. If there's anything else, I'll let you guys know. A little looky there for you. So there's a little guy right here, we'll hook that on. Back up here there's 1, 2 to hold this line on the top up there, 2 10 millimeters, and that's about it. Looks like there's a hose that goes right here. Actually, I'm gonna have to find, not sure where it went to, but I'll find it. So I know it's hard to get the injectors on, so what I did is get them in place, and I get my screwdriver and just press down on top of them, and they click right in. Here's a little example. I got it on there in place, and we'll just take the screwdriver, give it a little press. There you go. Let's do that with all the rest. Alright, last but not least, I found this little hose hiding over here, so we'll just hook that up. There we go. It's everything. Let's get the little faceplate over there, right back on here. 2 10 millimeters. And that'll be it for us today, guys. That's everything. Oh, you know what? I didn't hook up this line back over here. The electrical line, I'll get that back on with the 2 10 millimeters here. And that'll be it. Pop these little tabs back in where the holds the, there you go. That's it. Alright. There you go. Voila, ready to go. I'll give you guys a video of it starting up. There you guys go. purring now. Need a starter. If you hear a clicking noise and your battery's not dead, you're gonna need a starter.